Hey everyone, Eric here. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video because I'm going to be reading an excerpt from Craig Keener's book Miracles Today, which I will link in the description down below if you want to pick up a copy. The reason why I just wanted to read this verbatim is I thought that this miracle report was very powerful and seems to be very well documented. So without further ado, here is what Keener writes, and I quote, "During his 15 years in law enforcement focused on narcotics, Greg Spencer was exposed to heavy violence. As a deputy medical examiner as well, he witnessed the bodies of many who had died in road accidents or had been murdered. Hardened on the outside, he was nevertheless deeply disturbed by what he had seen. Eventually, Spencer left his job in law enforcement and began driving trucks cross country, but this new career lasted only about 6 months. His vision began to decline, and medical professionals diagnosed him with macular degeneration, a condition that is irreversible. Tests included mapping the structure of his eyes and revealed a form of permanent mottling in the center of his vision. His vision quickly declined from normal vision to 2200 in one eye and 2400 in the other. He was legally blind. Placed on disability, he went through the full training for blindness with the Oregon Commission for the Blind, never expecting to see again. Soon after this, Spencer met a believer named Wendy, who helped him come to faith in Christ and also became his wife. Still troubled by memories of the awful scenes he had witnessed earlier, he attended a church retreat focused on the healing of his mind. While he was praying for the healing of his mind, he felt that God said, 'You are clean.' When Spencer opened his eyes, he discovered that God had restored not only his mind but also his vision. Two witnesses who were present confirmed what happened to Spencer next. He rushed outside to learn that he could really see fully. One of the witnesses, Randy Webb, recounts that Spencer announced to him, 'Randy, I've been healed.' 'What?' Webb asked. I can see. Webb pointed to some blackbirds barely visible in the distance. 'Can you see those birds out there?' he queried. 'Yeah, I can see those birds.' Then Spencer began looking around everywhere and describing all the things that he could now see. He found that he could read license plates in the distance that even his friends could not read. The rest of the weekend he went around reading license plates to celebrate that he could. On the way home from the retreat, he kept pointing out, 'I can see that.' Yet to Spencer, the greatest part of the miracle was the healing of his mind. Unfortunately for books like this one, when people experience healing, they usually celebrate without collecting any documentation for their experience. Spencer did not have that luxury, however, because he now needed to get off disability, and the Social Security Administration could not accept an undocumented claim that macular degeneration had simply disappeared. That was not supposed to happen. Perhaps he simply faked his blindness earlier. A number of professionals carefully examined him, however, and the documentation is clear. Before his experience, he was legally blind, but afterward he could see. More than 3 years after Spencer's diagnosis of 2400 vision, the same specialist confirmed that he had experienced a remarkable return of his visual acuity, which was now measured at 2030. Although 2030 is not quite 20/20 vision, it is far better than my own vision. After finishing its investigation, the Social Security Administration acknowledged that Spencer's eyesight was no longer impaired, that he had been blind but now could see. 18 years after his healing, now at age 61, Spencer's sight remains normal for his age. Of course, everything has a downside. When your benefits stop, you have to go back to work." End quote. So overall, I found this to be just a really impressive miracle claim. Macular degeneration is an irreversible condition, as Keener said, so the idea of a psychosomatic explanation or spontaneous reversal would seem to be ruled out. Such an event has a very small probability of happening, and the healing happened in the context of prayer, and the healing was instant and permanent, as Spencer's still healed 18 years later. I think it's safe to say that in this situation, a miracle occurred. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it to be helpful. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing.